Brightburn, this movie is directed by David Yarovesky. It stars Elizabeth Banks, David Denman, and Jackson A. Dunn, and it is basically evil Superman. Something you've heard 1,000 times, but it is. It's basically, you know, Batman vs Superman when he thinks, you know, this guy could be evil. This is he was right. This is the world where Batman was right about Superman, but except it's a 13-year-old Superman, so like a legit Superman. But it basically just follows a kid that crashes down from an alien planet, gets raised on a farm, and then plot twist, he's evil. And that's pretty, it's evil Superman. That's the easiest way of explaining this movie. Now, I was actually excited for this movie. I think this whole dark take, something that's kind of new, but also like it's the perfect thing of like, give us something new that we want, but nothing someone's going to see, because the whole thing now, if it's not, you know, intellectual property already, if it's not, you know, original IP, people aren't going to take it, people aren't going to see it. I think this is a great, perfect kind of mix, because it's something we all know, Superman, but with a twist. And I thought that was a really great idea for a movie, and I was excited to see this movie. Now, does it deliver? I have some positives, and not so much negatives, but some frustrations that I'll really get into. But let's start off with the positives, and the biggest positive is the horror dark tone works. This is a really cool thing of this movie. It's something so cool and new. It's just seeing like this super powered, jacked up Superman be able to just come and go bang, 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 and just fuck people up. It's a villain in essence, but there's no superhero to save the day. He's brutally killing people. There's just horror vibes in there, slasher vibes, and I really dug that. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is something I'd like to see. I would definitely like to see it without these frustrations, which I'll get to again after the more positives. But that was a huge thing. I love the tone of the movie. I love that it was basically a superhero horror movie, and I really enjoyed that part. And the other two kind of things. One thing in essence, David Denman and Elizabeth Banks both killed it. They were really, really cool. Great to watch on screen. They had good chemistry themselves. You could see everything that was going on between them with their own relationship, their relationship with their kid. The whole thing, I think, was awesome. I really like David Denman in this as well. Also, but I was just talking about him as well, but for both of them, but specifically David Denman, I really liked him in this a lot. Now, the frustrations, because they're not negatives, they're frustrations. Something that I've never had to ask for a movie in like at least 5 years is give me more movie. Everything is going for 2 hours nowadays, 3 hours, 2.5 hours. This thing was 90 minutes, and I wanted more, and it needed more. Like, it's really rare that I've been able to say that. Just give me more movie. Because this movie could have been really great, and I'll give you the grading later on, I'll get to that, but the rating could have been maybe 2 or even 3 bumps up, depending on how good this movie really fleshes everything out, because it felt so rushed. From the get-go, you don't get that time to develop him as a normal character. You don't get that good and evil struggle, because they basically throw him into evil kid, and there's definitely that good and evil struggle that's been happening, or not even that, maybe just that good kid that we didn't get to see for the first 13 years of his life, because they throw you in at a point where he's basically turning, and it's like, I get it, because this is the story, but you give us that 30 minutes at least to just bump him up as a nice young boy, and they did it in maybe 10, and I didn't like that. There was just really no struggle there. It would have just been perfect if they just let him grow, and you could see him being good, and you see him hitting hard with the bad, but you just didn't get that there, and I think everything from that point made it so much harder for me, and I was literally sitting there, which doesn't happen often, like, this could be phenomenal. Just take your time. Like, seriously, take your time. Every scene that was happening, I was fine it was happening, but it was happening way too quickly. Like, they just didn't give any time to flesh it out. Something happens, he starts using his powers, and he goes from, like, one thing happening to, I'm going to risk my life to try these powers, and it's a way too big of a jump. I was like, you can't do one thing and just assume I'm invincible. Like, that was just too big of a jump, way too quick for me. As well as just the turn. I know I've said that's the movie, is him, you know, making that turn. But it happens so quickly, and just everyone turns on him very quickly, and just no real proof behind it. Everything happens within like maybe a couple of days, and he's like, bang, 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 I'm just this kid. Next minute, I'm killing people. And they're already awesome kills, and I'm like, this is cool to see in a superhero movie. It's horror-esque. But just chill everything down. And I think even his delivery by Jackson A. Dunn, he was decent, but I don't think he got the chance to be great because of how he was written, because you didn't see that battle, you didn't see that growth, there was no development in that character. It was, I'm good, now I'm bad, and I was just like, chill the fuck out. And this, like, I'm so surprised I was going to say this because I thought James Gunn producing it, okay, going to be pretty good. This wasn't the problem I expected to have, and I did. I had a really frustrated time watching this movie going, this could be fucking awesome, but just slow every scene down, give me an extra 15, 30 minutes in this film, and it makes it really damn good. But in the end, it is something new, it's something original, it's something fresh that we haven't really seen that kind of horror blend into a superhero movie, which we've seen plenty of superhero movies. He's got a weird mask. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Kind of looks like an elephant. You've seen it on the posters, but I liked elements of this movie, and it just felt like the first script you write without some help. Like you wrote the script, and then they just shot it. They didn't give it time. You didn't get any outside help. You didn't get anyone influencing the script to build it up. They're like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, just that time to add some extra scenes in, develop that character, make the push and make that evident turn into him being a psycho fucking superhero would be phenomenal. Like, this is maybe one of the most frustrated I've been, not because it's bad. There's been movies that I've expected to be good that have been a lot worse than this, and it's been frustrating, but this had it. That's like they had the ball and just couldn't make the layup. It wasn't like they never got the ball. There's some of these movies behind me, they probably shouldn't be behind me. There's some of these movies I reviewed on this channel that's never even got the opportunity to shoot. These guys got an open look and missed. That's the basketball term of putting how this movie was. And I'm going to give Brightburn a C+. Now, as I said before earlier, I said this rating could have gone up. If they took this time, which again, I'm just reiterating the frustration. If they took this time, I could see this movie being a B+. Like, that's how this annoys me so much because of how good it could have been. Because rarely do I see movies and go, oh, they could, like, I tweak them, but I'm not frustrated by it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I guess what you're going for. They had it, and they just didn't prosper with it. That kind of frustrated me, and this movie is rushed. That's, if I'm giving you a quick blurb of some of my reviews that I've given lately. John Wick, action's on point. Endgame, perfect ending to it all. Detective Pikachu, exactly what you expect. Long shot, funnier than you'd expect. Brightburn, rushed. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Make sure you press the subscribe button. Keep coming back. I've got plenty of Blu-ray videos on the way, plenty of reviews on the way. Big next 6 weeks in movies-wise. There's going to be a lot of reviews. I'm seeing Aladdin tomorrow night, so the review should be up in 2 nights. If everything goes to plan, either the Wednesday or Thursday. Jesus, I'm getting it out there. But make sure you do subscribe. It does help. Give it a thumbs up. Goes a long way. Comment whatever you thought. Whatever you thought of the movie, whatever you thought of the review. Follow me on Twitter. It's all there. Thank you guys. Have a good one.